Um, Sorry, I'm just sitting here bitching a lot because I'm tired of shit. Um, I don't know why it's still a thing in the FGC that you guys are still dealing with something that PC players and even like old Xbox shooting players used to deal with. You guys are still arguing over wired versus wired, or wired versus wireless, and it makes no sense. Like, I know there are some network engineers in the FGC that should be making videos on this and teaching people how to forward their ports, what type of medium connections to use, something, because you guys are arguing, like I said, about something that's been a thing for a while. It's actually been known by the networking industry for years. Wireless is not going to be as good as wired. That is not how that works. It can be close, but it still can't. Now, there are caveats to that because that guy running the cable might have been running Cat 5 cable, and that might have been good. He could be running Cat 5e or Cat 6 cable. Those are all it, basically Cat 6 adapters are backwards compatible all the way back to Cat 5 most of the time. And then Cat 5 cables can take Cat 5e adapters or gigabit adapters, take Cat 5, Cat 5e, Cat 6 as well. Um, I'm surprised people don't know that. One of the guys was like, "Oh, I ran a 100-foot cable and it was a little bit worse off than my wireless." And I'm like, "Okay, was the cable you used trash? Because if it's a trash cable and the terminate bad or whatever, you're gonna get some signal issues. Like, you can't just buy cheap and expect it to work like new or like good rather." Also, I can see what the wireless kids are talking about though, because wireless kids are like, "Oh, well, I'm right next to my router and all this other jazz," but there's also like signal loss in general that you have to account for. So using a Wi-Fi analyzer to see exactly what's going on with your signal. It works from 0 to negative 10 decibels if you're below like 53 to 50. So like, 54, 55, 56 are bad. Going down is going bad. Then you shouldn't be on Wi-Fi gaming in the first place. How many people actually have done that to see if their setup is bad or not? You haven't. I can almost guarantee you have not gotten a Wi-Fi analyzer, not inside your like modem or whatever, but actually as a spectrum analysis, using your phone to do it, setting your phone down somewhere while you're on Wi-Fi on your console or in your general area. I always go to the farthest reaches of whatever room I'm in and see like the farthest corner from like where the router is at or wireless access point's at, and then say, okay, cool, this is what's going on. Like, this is what my like release signature is going to be, so I need to boost it up in this room. So where I'm at, I'm only getting 55, negative 55. Also, like, how old is your router? If your Wi-Fi router, or even like your physical router, if you're hardwired, for both sides, that also plays something into it because electricity running through circuits all the time do degrade over time. So radios themselves will just start going out. Sorry, I'm updating some clients to Windows 10. So like, Wi-Fi radios over the course of times like start degrading to the point where they're not giving out good signal anymore. That's also a factor. I don't get it. Like your ISP port forwarding, even like how many like does it on a static IP address inside your like is it assigned a static IP address so it doesn't have to re-up every once in a while, so your router just knows, it kind of learns, some do. Is it port forwarding? That's very important too. Like, there's so many things that I've done since I was playing Halo 3 even that have made my experience a lot better that people just do not do. Now, the whole thing about port forwarding, people saying you can get hacked, get a good firewall. It's not hard. Like, Windows Defender is trash, but at least it works. Trend Micro, Malwarebytes, Kaspersky, was it? I don't know. There's one that I use all the time that I just can't remember. But there's a lot of stuff you can do to make your connections better. There's really no reason for anybody to have a bad connection. If you're playing serious, you're going to invest in it. You invest in your hobbies all the time. I'm sorry, if you bought like a hitbox, if you bought an arcade stick and you're running Wi-Fi, I don't want to talk to you. I think you're dumb. I'm sorry, that's just it. And I'm saying this because I work in this industry. I'm looking at 10 computers right now. You hear the noise. That's a server going. There's a multiple server going on with the virtual machines. There's networking cables behind me. I'm not going to say where I'm at. There's one running up its wall right there, and I retermed that cable because it wasn't terminated because I knew that. It's just like, you got to actually invest in your whole infrastructure for your gaming. That includes like graphics cards, a new console, good console version, getting updates, getting good controllers, getting good peripherals, arcade sticks, whatever, making sure you have a good monitor. Well, like in most things in life right now, people are finding out you haven't invested in your IT infrastructure and or your networking infrastructure, and that's why your shit's messing up. That's it. The wired kids are right. Being wired is overall a better thing. You can be better. You can have good just as good, not just as good, kind of like right below with wireless, but it all depends. There's way too many factors in that. Also, what was I going to say? I just thought of it. Oh yeah, if you're wireless, are you on a 2.4 or a 5 gigahertz network? If you're in your 5 gigahertz network and you're more than like 100 feet away, your signal's gonna be trash. That's just how that is. If you're on a 2.4 network, it's slower. It's a lower band, so like you're not gonna get above like I think 600 to 300 megabits per second. I forget. I'm tired. Been a long week so far. Even this Wednesday. Fuck me. So that's the thing. Like you're gonna literally sit here and probably chomp your speed down. Speed is not important, guys. It's never really been that important. People don't realize that. Oh, I want a gigabit connection. Unless you're downloading consistently, speed's not important. The pack like these games don't take much to send out to a server. They're sending out little packets. They're not sending out like massive jumbo. They think they're jumbo frames. They're not requiring anything really. That's why they have rollback netcode that can take care of a lot of things for you, so you have to worry about it. That's pretty much it. I'm just really sick of this conversation because it makes no sense, and I know there are people in the FGC, that have play other games, that have done this in other games, and are for other games, and they're not talking about it. So you guys are just simply, and I'm not trying to be rude, I'm being serious. Like I tell people it's the exact same way. You're just sitting here doing this and headcanoning things that you can look up on the internet. Go look up what Cat 5, Cat 5e, and Cat 6 are in the maximum lengths because people are talking crap they did in the video. Go look at how cables are, like what a shielded pair cable is going to be if you're receiving a lot of interference and have a lot of electronics running. You want to use shielded because it's not going to interfere. Look at the 2.4 and the 2.4 and 5 gigahertz ranges, and then look at exactly how long the range is, and then what the positive negatives are and the speed differences. And then look at a nice chart. There's many charts online because I made a video for this before. I didn't put it up yet because I was just like, whatever. Putting up, it'll sit there and say like what you should do and what negative decibel. It's gonna basically say what I just said. And I didn't just look this up. This is all just like I'm sitting here minding my own business. Like, this isn't hard. And I get that I'm gonna come off like a jackass. People are gonna be mad at me. I don't personally care. It's just like step your game up, literally and figuratively. Step your game up. I personally play Apex Legends, Diamond, Masters. That's what I run on, and I have no issues unless the server's having issues. When I played Halo and Overwatch, I knew I was not going to have any issues, and all on console. I don't have a PC. I play console because I invest my money in my server and do other stuff. I don't feel like getting a graphics card. It is what it is. But like I never really have an issue, and I can check my ping against the servers to see like how long it's going to take. And if I have an issue, it's my ISP. I know for a fact that on my side I'm fine. You guys don't, and a lot of people having this discussion and arguing about it and saying all these random crap. You don't know for sure. Not many of you can say right now that at your house your shit's perfect or as perfect as it can be, guaranteed. So y'all keep scrapping over some things that don't really matter, I guess, and keep having these issues. Running an online tournament, you're gonna have some issues, but overall it should be a good experience. And I expected more during the shutdown from the FGC than this. I understand in-person events are a thing, but I expected the people that are in the FGC, because I'm not. I love fighting games, don't get me wrong. I love playing SoCal. I've been doing that for a long time. Love playing Tekken. Love playing like a lot of games. Like honestly, like X-Men vs Street Fighter was my first fighting game. Then Tekken 3, and then Street Fighter EX3, which I love because the soundtrack is amazing. But the thing is, in MVC2 and Persona 4 Arena and some Guilty Gear, but I'm not good at them, so I just play okay. But the thing is, like, I would expect the people that play this, that are actually in your guys' community, to step up and actually handle this. I guess not. PC gamers and most console gamers that actually are kind of in the know, I guess, have been doing this shit for years, and we don't have any issues. So, that's all. That's my TED Talk.